Hey there, so you're a dog owner in Rochester and you're ready to find a great trainer. Well, you've come to the right place. This is your complete guide to finding a pro who can help you and your pup really enjoy life together in our city. Rochester is just such a fantastic place to have a dog, but having a well-behaved buddy with you, that's what lets you really enjoy everything, from a Saturday morning at the farmer's market to a nice long walk along the Zumba River. Good training opens up the entire city for both of you. Okay, so let's start by picturing what we're aiming for. What does an amazing life with your dog actually look like right here in Rochester? Imagine this. You're walking through Soldiers Field and your dog is just calmly trotting by your side, not pulling towards every single person or dog, or picture being at the market and your dog politely greets people instead of jumping up. That's the goal, right? A calm, confident dog who is just a pleasure to be around, whether you're out on the Douglas Trail or just hanging out at home. So before you start searching for a trainer, it's really helpful to understand what you're looking for. Let's cover the basics, starting with the main training philosophy you'll want to find. The phrase you want to listen for is positive reinforcement. All this means is that the trainer focuses on rewarding your dog for doing the right thing. It's modern, it's humane, and it builds a really strong bond between you two. Honestly, it just works, and you get results that stick around, all without using fear or force. Now, when it comes to how the training is done, you've got two main choices. Group classes, they're awesome for getting your dog used to other dogs and for learning basic manners, plus they're easier on the wallet. But if you're dealing with something specific, like your dog going bonkers when the doorbell rings or pulling like crazy on walks, private lessons give you that one-on-one customized help you need. And, of course, there are some more intensive options out there. A board and train is kind of like a training boot camp where your dog lives with the pro for a while. Day training is a nice middle ground. The trainer does the heavy lifting while you're at work. And then there's behavior modification, which is a really targeted plan for more serious things like deep-seated fear or anxiety. Okay, with all that background info, you're pretty much ready to start your search. Here's a little toolkit to help you make a decision you can feel really good about. First things first, let's talk about budget. Here's a snapshot of what you can probably expect to pay here in the Rochester area. As you can see, a group class is pretty accessible, while something like a board and train is a much bigger investment. Seeing these numbers can help you line up your goals with what you're ready to spend. Now, all these letters might look like alphabet soup, but credentials really do matter. They show that a trainer is serious about their education and professional standards. The CPD-TKA and KPA-CTP are fantastic for everyday training. If you see something like a CBBC or CBCCKA, that tells you the person has expertise in more complex behavior stuff. All right, when you talk to a potential trainer, think of it like an interview. And you're the one asking the questions. A good trainer will be happy to answer all of these, but that first one is the most important one. Make sure their answer lines up with that positive reinforcement approach we talked about. You also want to hear how they'll tailor a plan specifically for your dog and your life. Being a responsible dog owner is also about knowing the lay of the land. So let's get into the specifics for Rochester, the rules and the resources we have right here. This one is simple, but it is absolutely critical. In Rochester, your dog has to be on a leash in all public spaces, unless you're in a park that's specifically marked as off-leash. A standard 6-foot leash is your best friend for keeping your dog and everyone else safe and comfortable. And besides the leash law, there are a couple other key things to know. You do need to license your dog with the city once they're over 4 months old. A current rabies vaccine is mandatory under state law, and it's also good to be aware of the city's nuisance laws. Consistent training on things like barking is just part of being a good neighbor. So where can you go to put all this training into practice? Well, if you're working on that all-important recall, the fenced dog parks at Silver Lake and Soldiers Field are perfect. And for practicing that nice, loose leash walking around distractions, you can't beat the Douglas State Trail or the paths at Chester Woods Park. And hey, if you've recently adopted a dog or brought a new one home, this next part is especially for you. It's so easy to have high expectations right away. But it's really helpful to remember your new pal needs some time to adjust. This is what's known as the 3-3-3 rule. For the first 3 days, your dog is likely just overwhelmed and decompressing. After about 3 weeks, they're starting to learn your routine and settle in. But it can take a full 3 months before they really feel at home and their true personality starts to shine. Just knowing this can help you be more patient and set realistic training goals. At the end of the day, picking the right trainer is the very first step to having a happier, less stressful life with your dog.
A well-behaved companion just makes everything easier and opens up this whole world of things you can do together, letting you confidently explore every corner of our community. Happy training.